Hey everybody, Sean with Triangle of Truth here, and on today's video I'm going to talk to you about 5 reasons why indie comics are better than Marvel and DC. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, as I said here at the top of the video, today I'm here to talk about 5 reasons why I think indie comics are better than Marvel and DC. I realize this can be a very polarizing topic, as there are some people that are very much just Marvel and DC, or just Marvel, or just DC and nobody else. Then you got your people that are just diehard indie fans. I will preface this by saying that I love all of them. I love Marvel, I've got stuff I love at DC, and I got a bunch of indie stuff. So I definitely love all of them, but nonetheless, I thought this would be a pretty compelling topic to talk about. So with that said, let's get on into it. Reason number 5 on my top 5. Indie comics, you get more creative freedom. At least that's what I've observed. When you come into Marvel and DC, these are well-established universes with a lot of well-established characters. The most you really see them doing, especially nowadays, is you see them maybe gender swapping, or basically taking the same character and trying to put a new spin on it, etc., etc. DC's fixing to launch a whole new line version of a lot of their main heroes, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, etc. So, but nonetheless, they're still staying with kind of the same character. They're not really giving you anything new. And it's the same thing with Marvel. Marvel's even gone to the point where it seems like they just can't write a good story, so they have to rehash old stories just to give you something good. Like they did Zombie Resurrection, which is actually really a great storyline. There's this new King in Black one coming out that I hope is good as well, but nonetheless, that's kind of getting sidetracked. I feel with indie comics you get a lot more creative freedom, because you can come in with your idea and your art and this and that, and then it's the publisher that is going to help you get your work out to the world. It's not so much you having to try and fit something into their universe with their characters. So to me, that's one of the reasons. Number 4 on my list of reasons, with more creative freedom becomes way more variety. Basically with indie comics, it's almost like anything goes. If you can write a good story about anything, it will get published. Great examples is you have like Aftershock, for instance. A lot of horror stories, Pestilence, but they go over to Animosity, where it's all of a sudden animals just wake up one day and they're alive. They have the same capacity as a human and become evolved. You go over to something like Parallel from Jason Douglas, that was put out by SourcePoint Press. It was very much an intellectual type of read, where it studies in depression and mental illnesses and stuff like that, and then on over into just your anything else. I mean, what is there? Bleed Them Dry, which is like vampire ninja detective. You say those 3 things, you don't need to hear anymore. And then your zombie stories and this and that. So like nothing is off limits. I mean, if you wanted, you could probably have flying sharks that are armored that you can use for attacks. I mean, if you can make it work. So that is definitely one of the reasons why I think indie comics are better. Reason number 3 is, in my opinion at least, that I've seen, I feel like you get a better product. And what I mean by that is the quality of the book that you're being given, whether it's a trade or your single issues. I just feel like when you hold it in your hand versus some of the Marvel and DC stuff nowadays, maybe DC metal and death metal aside, that's actually some of the highest quality work around. For the most part though, I feel like I get a better product in my hand when I'm holding indie comics. A really great example is Comics Tribe. A lot of their trades, we have a lot of trades of theirs, You want to talk about some of the nicest just books that you can get. Aftershock, Pestilence hardcover, the Dark Ark hardcover, and a lot of their variant covers that you can get on single issues. Just really, really nice. And, you know, I know that might sound like really being picky, sorry. But it's true. I mean, I know that there are some comic companies where it is cheaper, but by some of those, it's by design. I mean, I know, what is it, like Alterna, for instance, is like $1.25 a comic, but that's intentional, and it's more of an old school feel with their comics, and I totally dig that, and that's awesome. But then you got other companies like Image and Boom Studios, IDW, that just give you these really great high quality books, and I feel a lot of times they outshine the big two. That's just my opinion. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments. Alright, so now we're on to number 2 on this list. This is the part for me that I could probably make this reason number 1, but it is what it is. More accessibility with these indie companies. And what I mean by that is not only, you know, the publishers, the higher ups in these, you know, the companies are much more communicative with their audience. You'll see them a lot more responding directly to you if you ask a question. Same thing with the creators, because you've got stuff like Kickstarter, Instagram, and you know, social media. That's the word I was looking for, where you have these platforms to talk to them, and a lot of these indie creators and publishers will talk to you one-on-one. Last year was absolutely amazing with some of the conversations that I myself got to have with people. Jay and Jenna have had conversations with people, and it's really been amazing to experience that and be able to ask them a question, and then they talk back to you and give you a direct answer. I can honestly say I've never gotten a direct answer from Marvel or DC when I've asked a question. And I get it, they are bigger. That's just kind of how it is with bigger companies. But at the same time, it'd just be cool at least to see them acknowledging some of their audience, instead of just putting out, here's your post. Take that for what you will. And finally, number 1 on my list, better stories. Because of the fact that you get this creative freedom, you have these people that have spent a long time writing these stories that come out. You know, some of them have spent months and months, some of them have spent a couple of years, you know, writing and perfecting, getting, you know, art together and this and that, and you just get a better story. And I think some of that too is because a lot of indie runs aren't necessarily like super long ongoing series where you get several volumes in a trade, you know, several volumes of trades, and you can get these compendiums and omnibus and this and that. A lot of them are, you get these 6 to 10 issue runs where it's just a very intense story. And sometimes, you know, to me that makes for a better story. That, you know, that said, I mean, you got stuff like Power Rangers, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are very long-running indie platforms that, you know, they have a ton of amazing story arcs. Animosity right now is like 20 some odd issues. That story is absolutely amazing, along with all the side tie-ins. Something is Killing the Children. You know, we're in, I think, issue 13 right now. I don't see any end in sight for that one, so that's another one. And just, you know, just things like that. Valiant used to do long runs, like the old Exo and Ninjax, you know, 9 or 10 volumes worth of stuff. Invincible is another one that you can think of. That's like a 18 some odd year continuous run of comics with, I don't even know how many volumes at this point, but you know, stuff like that. So there are some of the longer running stories that are great, but you also get these short, intense, amazing stories that really tend to stick with you. God Country is one like that for me. Pestilence is another. God, what else is there? There's so many. So many. I'm kind of drawing a blank. So yeah. Anyways, that is my reasons why I think indie comics are better than Marvel and DC. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, what your reasons might be for why you think they're better. If you disagree with me, what's the other side of the coin? Why do you think DC and Marvel are better? I could probably do another video on that side of the coin, and I might down the road. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as well for that. Would you like to see me do that side and see if I can give you 5 reasons why Marvel and DC are better than indie comics? That's all I've got for this week, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll catch you guys next time. Later.